Today, I'm teaching you how to make a great club. Things you need is to figure out the dimensions of your damp content cement, PVC pipe, sandpaper, box cutter, sharpener, PVC cutter, or a hacksaw, blue camping mat, and figure out your dimensions of your PVC pipe. Leave about 1 inch or 2 to compensate for the length. Sand it or rough up the surface of the PVC pipe so the glue may stick easier. Instead of using sandpaper, you can use a file. Alright, make sure you measure your core, then mark it with your phone. Better to get the measurements and to measure the phone and cut with a sharp box cutter or utility knife. Measure, cut the pieces, make sure all the pieces are custom. And here's a little technique to prevent it from curling. Is to roll it up. Make sure you shake your contact cement thoroughly, and when you are gluing, glue in a well-ventilated area. And right here we are preparing the tip of the weapon. Make sure you glue a coin to make sure the pipe doesn't burst through the foam on the tip. And we're going to be gluing both surfaces, so leaving a thin layer of glue on both sides. It takes a little bit for the glue to dry, so when it dries it should have a dull finish to it. And when you're gluing around curves, do it in steps. Glue the part where it doesn't curve, let it dry and set, then glue where it curves, both sides, and repeat. Do it slowly so to get the best results. To make sure it's on there, tape it on so the glue will have the best chance to set. And if your weapon it is a little too long for your foam, position your foam in a way where your primary striking surface has no gaps. Only the end that's closest to the handle would have the gaps like you see here. When gluing the extra pieces of the foam, make sure you glue the edges when they bump up to each other, so to make it more seamless. Right here we are measuring and cutting the other side of the weapon, and make sure you repeat the layers of foam each time, making a custom strip of foam every time. If you do it beforehand, you're going to experience some discrepancies, and this is the result of that. Right here I'm using a bolt as a counterweight. Make sure you tape the end of the bolt so be snug into the PVC pipe. Tape securely on the end of the PVC pipe. With any gaps in the weapon, make sure you fill in with scrap pieces of foam, glue, and wait until it's dry to a dull finish and put it in. And I want to note, to speed up the drying process, I am using a heat gun to make it dry faster. Right here with the pommel, I'm cutting custom pieces of foam and attaching. In hindsight, I should have made the pommel a lot longer and every other piece extended from that, so to prevent it from being very shaky. Right here I was just kind of made it into like a ball, not securing the whole pommel, so it will be a little shaky. So trying to prevent being shaky. And right here, there's a strap there. And right here, I'm just gluing another piece on to make it more ball-like. And I have like 2 layers of foam on the pommel, so no one will get hurt. And dance break, the most important step. Make sure you measure and mark a 1/4 inch from the edge of the Great Club. Take a sharp box cutter and cut on the lines you just made down smoothly in a sawing fashion at a slow, careful pace, creating a more of a log appearance for the Great Club. You can use this technique for swords, giving a better sword-like appearance for the weapon. For the pommel, we are going to use scissors to cut the edges to create a more of a circular appearance for this Great Club. Cutting the edges of the foam until it gets a desired rounded appearance. In hindsight, I should have elongated the construction of the pommel, so 1 layer would be longer than the past layer to give it more strength, and the pommel won't be so wobbly. So I'm adding right here a little bit more supports to make sure there's less wobble. This is what it will look like all taped up. It's me adding a leather wrap handle using garment grade leather. You cut into strips, and one of the strips you cut a elongated triangle. Apply glue to the leather strips and to the handle part of the PVC. Make sure at the ends you thoroughly glue the leather strips. Optional tip: if you want to make some kind of spike or something a little extra for your striking surface, make sure you make a foam pyramid and you round it out to make sure it's more of a smooth surface. You glue it together and make sure you glue it on to the PVC pipe before you start layering up the project, so to add maximum strength to it. When you are adding your layers, you can go over the pyramids, or you can cut a hole in the layers of that striking surface. Make sure you measure precisely for a snug fit. We're adding some couch cushion foam to the spike to add a little more cushion. Over that, some blue camp pad. Make sure you saturate the couch cushion foam with glue. Then trim the edges. Then there you go. You got a foam spike, and tape it down so the glue can properly cure. And remember, our goal is to level up your LARPing experience and stay hydrated.